وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له إله الأولين والآخرين وديان يوم الدين وجامع الناس ليوم لا ريب فيه يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله المصطفى الأمين أرسله الله رحمة للعالمين وشرح به الصدور وأنار به العقول وفتح به أعينا عميا وآذانا صما وقلوبا غلفا، صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. ثم أما بعد. Brothers, we have to know all, there's nothing better than to be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life. Whatever you have or you don't have, if you're rich or poor, if you strong or if you weak, if you happy or if you sad, doesn't matter. There's nothing better than to be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you're close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you're being protected. Even if you have difficulty, it's not going to affect your heart. It's going to affect your body, maybe affect your wealth, maybe, but doesn't affect your heart. But if you're not close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if something happened to you, even if you're rich, even if you're strong, even if you're president, even if you're king, if you're not close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, something bad happened to you, you have no protection. It's going to affect your heart. So it's going to destroy everything, you have, because closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the best blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this dunya. We have some ayat today, inshallah, we're going to mention the chapter, من الشرك أن يستغيث بغير الله أو يدعو غيره. If someone seek help from other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or call other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's making a partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the ayat, we're going to mention, I ask Allah to make it beneficial and make us to understand it and make it easy for us to apply. First ayah we're going to mention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, the ayah straight to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and everyone believing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the day of judgment and believe that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's the last prophet and last messenger. So the ayah is for everyone. ولا تدع من دون الله ما لا ينفعك ولا يضرك فإن فعلت فإنك إذا من الظالمين. This is the ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's calling everyone believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't ولا تدع من دون الله, don't call anything other than Allah. Don't call, what's the meaning don't call? Either you're looking for help, looking for support, looking for protection, or you're looking for something to get it, you're looking for provision, you're looking for purification, you're looking for any type of help. So this is meaning of dua. You calling, you asking. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you do not ask anything or anyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا تَدْعُ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. Also, min dunillah, anything other than Allah. Also, even with Allah. If you say Ya Allah, Ya Rasulullah. So you put the Rasulullah same level of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So meaning if you call other than Allah separate, like as an example, if you say Ya Rasulullah, or you say Ya Allah, Ya Rasulullah together. So separately you're asking something other than Allah, or you say Oh Jesus, or you say Oh Prophet, or you say Oh angels by itself, or if you say Oh Allah, Oh Jesus together. So either way, you're making a partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's why Allah commanded everyone, don't ask anything and anyone beside Allah. For what? And then the ayah explained. If you call anything or anyone other than Allah, ما لا ينفعك, is not going to help you with anything. You're not going to receive any type of help, even if you ask. And also, if you asking or calling for something to be protected from, also they're not going to protect you from any harm, anyone beside Allah. If you call Oh Jesus, Oh Prophet, or Oh angels, or anything other than Allah, so for good to get it, or something bad to be protected, so they're not going to be able to answer you. So this is the situation. If someone doing this, asking other than Allah for protection, or asking other than Allah for something good, for provision, for money, for kids, for wife, for whatever you call. فَإِن فَعَلْتَ فَإِنَّكَ إِذًا مِّنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. If you do that, then you amongst the oppressors. So you put yourself in the side of the oppressors. And who's the oppressor? Not the one who harm others and oppressing others. If you doing something against Allah, you oppressing yourself. Why? Oppressing, when you describe someone oppressing others, meaning he's hurting them. The one who beating someone, he's oppressing. The one who leading bad, not with just. So he's hurting others. So that's why they call it oppressive. And then when you do something against Allah, so you oppress yourself. Why? You put yourself in a situation, to get hurt, to get punishment. So that's why the one who asks anything other than Allah for protection, for support, for help, for something good, he's an oppressor. He put himself in a situation to be punished and to be, asked, on the day of judgment. And then we have the ayah continue, going to another ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُ وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ بِخَيْرٍ فَلَا رَادَّ لِفَضْلِهِ يُصِيبُ بِهِ مَن يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ وَهُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. Also, the ayah explained the first ayah more. وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُ. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He decide, and from His pre-decree, He give permission, something bad happened to you, either disease or illnesses or any type of harm, فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُ. No one can remove it except Him. No one can fix it except him. If it was a diseases or illnesses, no one can do anything for you except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one able to give you purification. He is the one who cured the diseases. No one can do it for you. So وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُ. No one can do it. No one can help you. No one can support you. وَإِن يُرِدْكَ بِخَيْرٍ فَلَا رَادَّ لِفَضْلِهِ. And if Allah decides something good happened to you, no one can stop it. So meaning, if something bad happened to you, make it clear for yourself, only Allah able to support you and help you and take care of it for you. If your mind going to other than Allah, then it's starting, you go heading, difficulty. And if something good written for you, so don't worry, no one can take it from you. If Allah write for you, this is for you. Nobody can, take it from you and remove it. And then we have the ayah after. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ. Subhanallah, guys, I want you to share with me. Did you realize on the ayat, the couple ayah we mentioned? And you see, you realize the meaning of the ayah, or we give some of the meaning of the ayah, you realize the meaning of these verses and then action of the people? You realize, guys? Do you know how many people they call other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for purifications and for help and supports? Do you realize how many percentage of the Muslims they said, Ya Abdul Qadir al-Gailani or and others? How many people? And this ayat clearly telling us, this whoever doing this, he fell in a shirk. He make a partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You realize, guys? I want you to share with me. I don't want you to just look at me, because I wanna make sure we're getting benefit together, inshallah. And then the ayah after, وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ مِمَّنْ يَدْعُو مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ مَنْ لَا يَسْتَجِيبُ لَهُ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ وَهُمْ عَنْ دُعَائِهِمْ غَافِلُونَ. This ayah also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ مِمَّنْ يَدْعُو مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ. Who can be more misguided, more than the person who call other than Allah? Very clear. If he translated to any language, it's not going to change the meaning. No one can give different meaning of the ayah, because maybe some ayat, maybe some verses in the Quran, different opinions. Maybe different opinions, because ayah showing look like it have a different more than one meaning. But this ayah, if you go word by word to any language in the world, if you translate it to any language, doesn't make any meaning except one. وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ مِمَّنْ يَدْعُو. Who can be more misguided, word to word, doesn't make any other meaning, just one meaning. Who can be misguided, more misguided than the one who asks other than Allah? Clear? Who can be more misguided? This is what the ayah clearly telling us.
On your question of you stated, do we know who is following other or calling on other than Allah?
Many of the Muslims.
Yes, and you said Muslims. So I would think, because you said the Muslims, many of the Muslims, it would be anyone who does not follow number one, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and secondly, the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They're following other than that.
Brother, he pointed to something I want everyone to realize. I want him to repeat it, and I want you to hear what he's saying.
When you said there are a lot of Muslims
Mm-hmm.
who do not follow or who worship other than Allah, I would think that number one is the Muslims do not follow the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
You hear that?
And number two, they're not following the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Do you hear that, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a one correction. We believe Book of Allah and Sunnah, they're together. It's not number one and number two.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
We believe Quran and Sunnah, they're both same. It's not number one, number two. Quran and Sunnah is both revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran is directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sunnah to the Prophet, directly to the Prophet. Quran, the words and meaning from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sunnah, the words from the Prophet, permission from Allah. So both revelation. Quran and Sunnah together. We now make number one, number two. Second, exactly. The one who doesn't know anything about the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he go against him. Against the book of Allah. Because he don't know. He's not following. That's why he's not following. The one who against the Sunnah, he's not following the Sunnah. Otherwise, he's going to follow. Because how are you going to against it? So, there's a lot of people, as you know, a lot of people all over, they ask other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not talking about the Christians they call Jesus. No, we talking about the one who claims he's a Muslim. There's a lot of people that daily they ask other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They ask the Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, or Ya Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, Ya Ibn Alwan, there's a lot of them people call without knowing. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah said, who can be more misguided than the one who asks other than Allah? Other than Allah. And then he said, Man la yastajibu lahu ila yawm al-qiyamah. By the way, he's calling them and they're not able to answer anything to the day of judgment. Who can be more misguided? Asking other than Allah, asking someone, he's not able to do anything for him. He cannot do anything for him. So this is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. And then he said, وَهُمْ عَنْ دُعَائِهِمْ غَافِلُونَ. وَهُمْ عَنْ دُعَائِهِمْ غَافِلُونَ. The first thing, who can be more misguided than the one who asks other than Allah? And asking something other than Allah, they're not able to answer anything if you call them, if you ask them. And then he said, وَهُمْ عَنْ دُعَائِهِمْ غَافِلُونَ. And then they are negligent about their dua. They not hear it, they don't know anything about it. It's very sad when we hear the ayah from the Quran and we know from our people against the ayah clearly. It's very sad. And then we have another ayah.
Malik, can you clarify his question? So if somebody calling themselves Muslim and they are not following,
He said whoever asking other than Allah from the Muslims, they call themselves Muslims, they are not following the book of Allah. They're not following the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. That's true. This is exactly.
So,
if they follow the Quran, how are they going to go against the Quran?
so can you call them Muslim? That's the question.
No, that because person who, some people maybe they don't know what they're doing. Maybe they don't know even the meaning. Maybe they don't know the ayah. But whoever know, So he's not a Muslim, even he call himself, even he pray 5 times a day, even he fast Ramadan, even he go make Hajj. It doesn't matter. He's not Muslim. Because this is a major shirk. He making a major partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He making a major partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then another ayah. أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ. The one who have emergency. Someone have emergency. Muhtar, the one who have no any other way. He cannot do anything for his situation. Who can answer him besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and remove his harm or his difficulty or his hardship? Who can do that? The is a question. أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ. Who can answer the one who in need immediately? Who can answer him? The response, there is no way for anyone for anything beside Allah to answer him or to to do what he's looking for. No one can do it for him. So we have a hadith. I'm trying to know that this hadith, some scholars, they said the hadith is not authentic, and some of them, they said the hadith is hasan, is okay, which is, it was a hypocrite, time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he used to, hurt the believers. And then some of them, they said, let's, seek refuge or ask. They was far away from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, let's seek refuge to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or ask for help from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he heard that, he said, لا يستغاث بي وإنما يستغاث بالله وحده. No one can seek refuge or ask support from me. It's only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even the hadith, some of them they said is not authentic, but we point to the meaning. The meaning is true because we have a hadith also that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, somebody asked or somebody said MashaAllah wa shi't. He said MashaAllah and you. He said, أَجَعَلْتَنِي لِلَّهِ نِدًّا. You make me a partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Say MashaAllah alone. He said MashaAllah and you. He said, you make me a partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have ayats about the same subject or same meaning. Some people still they point to us as a strip, tough, and we're not doing anything except we're reading from the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're reading the ayat from the Quran, verses from the Quran, and then, like I said, these ayat, especially about Tawheed. The majority of the ayat about Tawheed, you cannot make any other meaning. even if you translate to other languages. About some understanding about selling and buying, about some other stuff, some ayat, some verses giving more than one meaning. Or some people, they look at it, there's have more than one meaning. The most of the ayat about the tawheed, about the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you look, you're not going to find except one meaning. Don't do it. If you say don't do it, then there's any way to mean two different things. If you say bring me a cup of water, there's any way to cup of water or milk. If you mention just bring me a cup of water. If you say close the door, any way to the meaning to be close the door or open the door? There's no way. Clearly, sit down. There's no way meaning to sit down or stand up. So this ayat, wallahi, the same way. The ayat about the tawheed, the same thing. Don't call. Don't seek for help. Don't seek for, don't look for support. Don't ask for provision. Don't ask for from other than Allah. The same word, you cannot translate. You can translate it to any other language. There is no any other meaning. Just don't do it. Don't call. Don't ask except from Allah. That's it. Very simple. Very easy. We have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَالَّذِينَ تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ لَا يَمْلِكُونَ مِنْ قِطْمِيرٍ إِن تَدْعُوهُمْ لَا يَسْمَعُوا دُعَاءَكُمْ وَلَوْ سَمِعُوا مَا اسْتَجَابُوا لَكُمْ وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يَكْفُرُونَ بِشِرْكِكُمْ. Wallahi, subhanallah, I don't know, wallahi. La ilaha illallah, the guidance is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The guidance is not from the people. The guidance is coming from Allah directly. As we know, as all type of good is coming from Allah, the guidance is one of the goods. The guidance is only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, wallahi, especially for the Arab people, these ayat cannot be more clear than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned. Cannot. There is no any other way. Very clear. وَالَّذِينَ تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ. مِن دُونِهِ. Wallahi, only Sadiq, this is in Middle East. They call, Bangladeshi and Indian and Pakistan, they say Sadiq. They call him Sadiq. Only Sadiq, maybe he don't understand because his Arabic is not very well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ. Whoever you asking anything other than Allah. Anything. When you say anything, min dunihi includes everything in this universe. As much as the atoms, dharra. Wallahi, include everything in this universe. If you think about anything is included, because it said min dunihi, anything other than Allah, small or big, everything is anything other than Allah. Anything other than Allah, you calling, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ما يملكون من قطمير. If you're calling the angels, if you're calling the shayateen, if you're calling the righteous people, if you're calling the prophets, messengers, if you're calling the whatever of the creations, ما يملكون من قطمير. قطمير. What's قطمير? The Noah Tamar, the seed of the date. Huh? Yeah, date pit. You see, there's a white cover around the pit, about the seed, right? Or there's a tiny string from the beginning to the end. You see this? Even they not own this. Whoever you're asking, anything, anyone you're asking other than Allah, They not own even the small thing. You asking who? You asking who? All this universe is owned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِن تَدْعُوهُمْ لَا يَسْمَعُوا دُعَاءَكُمْ. Even if you call them, they not hear your dua. They not hear your call. Even if you call from now until tomorrow. Ya Rasulullah, or oh Rasulullah, oh Jesus, oh prophets, oh messengers, they not hear you. This is what Allah said. إِن تَدْعُوهُمْ لَا يَسْمَعُوا دُعَاءَكُمْ. They not hear your call. وَلَوْ سَمِعُوا مَا اسْتَجَابُوا لَكُمْ. Even if they hear, مَا اسْتَجَابُوا لَكُمْ. They're not able to answer you. Subhanallah, there's anything can be more clear than that? Well, I don't know. If you open a tafsir of the ayah in any language, it's one meaning. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَوْ سَمِعُوا مَا اسْتَجَابُوا لَكُمْ وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يَكْفُرُونَ بِشِرْكِكُمْ. In the day of judgment, front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they say, oh Allah, we free from them. And they make us a partner for you, and we free from this. They will be free from you on the day of judgment. وَلَا يُنَبِّئُكَ مِثْلُ خَبِيرٍ. وفي الصحيح عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه قال شج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يوم أحد وكسرت رباعيته فقال كيف يفلح قوم شجوا نبيهم فنزلت ليس لك من الأمر شيء. The fight of Uhud, they break the teeth of the front teeth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then when he started bleeding, when he got injured, he started bleeding. He said, how are they going to be successful for a people, they, injure their prophets. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he sent the ayah, لَيْسَ لَكَ مِنَ الْأَمْرِ شَيْءٍ. The situation does not belong to you. You understand what's the meaning of that?
Allah control everything.
When the Prophet ﷺ, he got injured in the war, he said they're not going to be successful. How are they going to be successful? They fighting their prophets and they injure the Prophet of Allah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this does not belong to you. He's a prophet. He got injured. He said, this does not belong to you. This is belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Punish them, not punish them, guide them, successful, not successful. This is not your job. This is belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And then we have Ibn Umar قال وعن ابن عمر أنه سمع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إذا رفع رأسه من الركوع في الركعة الأخير من الفجر اللهم لعن فلانا وفلانا بعدما يقول سمع الله لمن حمده ربنا ولك الحمد فأنزل الله ليس لك من الأمر شيء. This is another narration, but this narration says the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Abdullah ibn Umar, he heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the Salat al-Fajr, after he said, Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbana wa laka al-hamd, he used to say, oh Allah, curse such and such. He used to name the name of the head of the Quraysh and Munafiqeen. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this ayah, he said, this does not belong to you. Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to curse someone, to asking Allah to curse this and this and this and this does not belong to you. This is belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have also, we have some time, right?
No.
I try to make it easier and shorter. Any question, brothers?
هل تجوز الصلاة من خلف المستغيث بغير الله؟
لا. Brother Wallace, he's asking, is allowed to pray behind someone he's called other than Allah? It's not allowed. It's not allowed if you know the person he asked other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
What happens if you're praying behind someone that you don't know?
No, nothing. You know, if you don't know, ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. If you don't know, this is something, you know, excuse. There's excuse and there's nothing, no problem. If you don't know.
Can you clarify what's the condition to ask help for the worldly affairs? Like if you want to ask someone, can you do this and this, this, this? So what are the conditions?
I didn't get it.
What are the conditions to ask for help for worldly affair? Like you want something from someone. So what's it?
I should mention this without your question. You know, Jazakallah khairan. You know, if isti'ana. Probably his question is about isti'ana. If you ask help from someone, from the people, from the others, if you ask help, ask for help and support. I should point to this without your question. This is if you asking someone, hadir, qadir, he's present,
Yes.
and he's able to do it for you, is allowed. Like you say, brother, can you give me some tea? You ask him, and he gives you some tea. He's able to do it. Brother, can you help me take this to the car? Can you help me go find something for me, such and such? He's able to do that. So it's allowed for the hadir and hadir al-qadir. So he's there, he's present, and he's able to do it. But it's not allowed to, you know, for example, let's say who's not here, you know, somebody not here. You say from the message you call, like for example, Ramadan is not here. Ramadan, help me. Help me to do this and this. Ramadan, he's not going to hear you. Ramadan, he's not here. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's allowed to ask someone for help and support for if he's there and he's able to do it for you. He's able to do it for you. If he's there and you ask him, can you, brother, can you ask for something, he's not able to do it. Can you make me rich, for example, as an example. This is not his job. This is not allowed to ask him for something like this. So yes, it's allowed to ask for something for the person he's able to do it. Yes, Dr. Okay.
So, as you just mentioned that, like, if we ask anything to Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he can't actually answer or reply. But as we know that, like, when we go to Medina, and we always say salam to Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he also replied the salam. So, how authentic that is?
There's nothing specific for the Prophet ﷺ to go to the grave to say salam. This is for all type of Muslims. If you go to the graveyard, assalamu ala qawm aw dar qawm min al-mu'minin. This is not specific for the Prophet ﷺ. This is for all graveyards of the Muslims. When you go there, you say salam to them. This is not specific for the Prophet ﷺ. And then they answer, not answer, you don't know, you don't hear. If they answer or not answer. But for the Prophet ﷺ is something special. If you say salam, salah and salam upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, anywhere, anytime, there's an angel specific for this. He take your salam. He said, "O prophets," Dr. Tawfiq, he said salam to you. Dr. Kamran, he said salam to you. Fulan, he said salam to you. So he specifically, there's an angel, this is his job. Everyone he says salam upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, directly he tell him. He mentioned your name, he said salam to you. Otherwise, people going to Medina and they go to the graveyard and asking, all this is not allowed. Salam, like I said, is not specific for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Any Muslim graveyard or grave is legislated to say salam to the grave. Did I answer? Yes, sir.
Let's say, for example, if you go there for 5 days or something like that, should it be only done one time or you can do more than one time?
Huh?
Let's say if you go there for 5 days, should it be only done one time or you can do more than one time?
He said he can do from any place, anytime.
No, he's asking if you're in the Medina and you go to the masjid like multiple times through the day, or
Yeah, every time you go, you say salam.
Barakallah feek.
As you every time coming here, you wake up everyone. No one can sleep when you enter from your salam. Take it easy.
Barakallah.
يعني عندي في واحد دائما يحلف يعني وحق الله يعني يقول مثلا حق الله انك منور، حق الله انك جاي، وحق الله اني بارو. كيف الحلف هذا؟
He's asking a question very about common speech or swear. وحق Allah. This is same thing you say, swear by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No different. You swear by haq. As-salah haqullah. Is allowed to swear, I swear by the salah. Fasting is the haq Allah. You say, I swear by the fast. By the right of Allah. Someone swear by the right of Allah. This is the making a partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who swear by the right of Allah. Wa haq Allah. This is making a partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because it's not allowed, only allowed to swear by Allah and Allah's names and attributes. Yeah. If someone said, أقسم بالكريم, أقسم بالرحمن, أقسم بالله, أقسم بالحكيم. This is all allowed. أقسم بالقرآن. Quran, because it's the speech of Allah. It's a صفة, كلام الله. So if you swear by Allah, Allah's names and attributes is allowed. I swear by the power of Allah. I swear by the love of Allah. I swear by the anger of Allah. It's allowed because you swear by name and attributes. But anything other than that, you making a partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you call by amana, or if you call by haq Allah, or by children, or parents, or any other things, it's a partner for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not allowed. And I think some actions and some speeches, shaitan make it so easy for the people and spread between the people, and people use it with no knowledge, or they don't know what they say. They don't know this wrong. Like there's like Arab people, someone you want to help someone, is respond La barakallahu fik. La barakallahu fik. So La barakallahu fik, يعني you ask Allah to remove barakah from him. You ask Allah, Allah not give you any barakah. Or he said La shukran. La shukran. La jazakallahu khair. And this is very common by Arab people. Very common. He's asking Allah to not give him reward, good reward. He said La jazakallahu khair. La barakallahu fik. Huh? No, la wa jazakallahu khair. لا وبارك الله واو لا وجزاك الله خير لا وبارك الله فيك لا
كمان الله يخليك يعني.
الله يخليك. Allah يخليك, this is very common in Egypt and Sham, Sudan, very common. الله يخليك يعني الله يتركك, يتخلى عنك. يعني هذا هو المعنى, يعني الله يتركك ويتخلى عنك. أنت تدعو عليه رب العالمين يتخلى عني. والله أنا أرجو الله أن لا يخليني ويتخلى عني. أن يكون لي, يكون معي, مش يخليني. You know, they say Allah يخليك. But because the translation is not going to mean anything. Because when you hear this in Arabic, then you know. Because this is between the Arab people. Allah يخليك, they said, you know, Allah يخليك meaning, they believe meaning Allah keep you for longer. This is what they think. But the meaning of the sentence, meaning Allah leave you alone. Allah leave you alone. So there's some words is common, very common between the people, and which is not allowed. Any question? طيب, we're gonna stop. جزاكم الله خيرا وجزاكم الله خيرا وجزاكم الله خيرا وبارك الله فيكم.
جزاك الله خير بارك الله فيك.